Look at this scene here at Doak Campbell Stadium. For the first time ever, the Alabama Crimson Tide have come to Florida State. And there is one of the great pageantry-filled traditions of college football. The pre-kickoff grandeur that comes with it. You can dot all the I's, you can touch Howard's Rock, you can touch a big blue banner, but Chief Osceola and Renegade, something about this moment. Take it in. The tradition that began back in 1978. As we welcome you to ABC College Football, presented by Burger King and the ACC on ABC. A massive Week 1 matchup for both history-rich programs from the renovated Doak Campbell Stadium here in Tallahassee. So great to be with you here. Joe Tessitore, as always, with my partner, Jesse Palmer. And Jesse, both these teams and both these programs have reason to want to forget last year. But there's been a great reset, whether it's coaching staff changes or helping out with some of the key personnel. They feel good now going into.
No question they both want to turn the page from a year ago. Alabama suffered their first 4-loss season since 2007. Florida State started last year in the top 10, only ended up winning 2 games. But you're right, there is reason for optimism. New rosters, both teams rolling out a brand new starting quarterback, new play callers offensively for both teams. But the expectations for these programs, Joe, they remain the same. It's Alabama, it's Florida State. The expectation is to compete for a national championship. So this is a reset. That's how they view this, to prove they can play to their standard.
Florida State won the toss. They elect to defer. The speedy Rico Scott is back for the Tide if he gets the opportunity, and it goes for a touchback. And that means the new starting quarterback for the Tide. Here is Ty Simpson, Jesse.
The number 2 ranked dual threat quarterback when he came out of high school, but he had to wait his turn, sitting 2 years behind Jalen Milroe and 1 behind Bryce Young to get this opportunity. There's a lot to like about him. He can make all the throws. He's not as dynamic a runner as Jalen Milroe, but that mobility still is key. What he doesn't have, Joe, is experience. This obviously his first start on the road, hostile environment. His play caller, Ryan Grubb, offensively has to do a really nice job here getting him into a rhythm early.
Jam Miller, who's set to be the starting running back this year, is out injured with a dislocated collarbone. So Richard Young, who was the prize recruit a few years ago, will carry the ball to get things started for Bama. Impact players built by the Home Depot, Jesse.
There's a lot of guys we're going to be keeping our eye on here in this game. And when you talk about Alabama offensively, Caden Proctor, one of the best left tackles in the game. Ryan Williams, one of the best talents at wide receiver you'll see. Unbelievable ability. And Earl Little Jr., the Alabama transfer, playing that rover spot for Florida State's defense, really is the quarterback of their back end.
Earl Little Jr., who just made the tackle after a 6-yard gain by Young. Play action. Simpson's first pass of the year is complete to Jeremy Bernard.
Really love this play call here by Ryan Grubb early, putting Ty Simpson on the move and giving him one option. Jeremy Bernard running the out-breaking route. Just a nice throw. Ty Simpson with his feet underneath him, getting the completion, moving the chains, and that's the kind of play call that'll help a young quarterback in his first start just start to settle into the game.
12-yard reception for Bernard, who followed Coach DeBoer from Washington over to Bama in 2023. Here's Young again as he hits the hole on the right side for a gain of 2.5 yards, and it was Earl Little Jr. again, the former Tide player, with the tackle.
Well, you're seeing Richard Young here getting some touches early. Their most explosive runner at running back from a year ago, Jam Miller, out of this game with a dislocated collarbone. So it's going to be a bit of a running back by committee approach here for Bama.
2nd and 7. Here's Simpson trying to extend the play. And he tucks and runs as he strides out just a yard beyond midfield.
But I think you like to see that if you're Kalen DeBoer watching your young quarterback here. Make a good decision, right, Joe? That time, nothing's open downfield. You're not trying to force it into traffic. Just go get what you can get with your legs and keep this 3rd down manageable.
Simpson checking at the line. Third and 2. And the whistles blows. The flag came down.
Looked like Wilkin Formby at right tackle moved early.
Before the snap, false start, offense, number 75. Yard penalty, third down.
And that's a player on the offensive line who did have some struggles a year ago, Jesse.
Yeah, the right tackle position was the weak link for Alabama's offensive line a year ago. Elijah Pritchett got most of the reps. He was really up and down. He's now gone playing in Nebraska. So Formby's in that spot now, but he really has to settle in. There's a lot of NFL talent on this offensive line, but that right side is where we have our eyes.
Yeah, Caden Proctor on the left side is just a dominating mauler. Seeing at 366 pounds. Here's your 3rd and 7. Simpson looking for an option and trying to reach out, but he is denied by the Noles defense, and it was Herring making the tackle.
It's decision time now for Kalen DeBoer, but we were just talking about the right tackle spot and how they have to help him out. Watch Cuevas here at tight end number 80 get a little bit of a chip to slow down that rush, and that gave an opportunity for Simpson to go run.
They're going to go for it on 4th and 1. Richard Young straight ahead, and the extra effort is what is going to earn Alabama the first down.
Well, it looks like Justin Cryer, linebacker for Florida State, came right up the middle and got some push. He drove Gino Vandermark backward a little bit, but it was Richard Young at 212 pounds needing all of that to move the chains.
.244-pound Daniel Hill now in at running back as he takes it down to the 40-yard line. Let's say hello to Katie George. Good afternoon, Katie.
Oh, good afternoon, Tess. Of course, Alabama there without Jam Miller, but a couple others are missing today. Nose tackle Tim Keenan will not play. DeBoer thinks he'll be back by the Wisconsin game. Tight end Danny Lewis Jr. had a lingering injury flare-up this week, so he's out. And right guard Jaden Roberts was questionable today. He is available at the O-line, guys.
Jesse, what do they lose without Jam Miller?
Well, it's home run hitting ability, both running and catching the football. He was an explosive play waiting to happen.
2nd and 3. Hill is going to be tackled for a loss as that front of Florida State was quick to get straight onto him. McCray was involved.
Now you get a 3rd down situation, and here's another big test for Ty Simpson in his first start on the road. Florida State's got a new defensive coordinator in Tony White. He runs this 3-3-5 scheme. You see him right there, and they can be very multiple and rock and roll safeties to try and disguise their coverages and confuse the quarterback. So Simpson really has to be locked in here.
Tony White was at Nebraska the last couple of years. Syracuse before that. 3rd and 5. They keep it on the ground with Young, who gets the pad leverage and surges ahead for a first down.
With that play call, that kind of tells you that Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator, was going to go for it in 4th down anyway. We're running it here. Even if we're short, we're staying on the field. But right now, you see Ryan Grubb putting a lot of faith in the big fellas up front. I'm impressed with Alabama so far in these zone schemes and running the football. They're getting a lot of push and a lot of movement, and they're allowing these big physical Alabama backs to just run downhill.
Ryan Grubb had all the success with Coach DeBoer when they were at Washington 2 years there. Remember Michael Penix, the quarterback, the record-breaking stats. 10th play of the drive, and again they run the ball, and this time it's Kevin Riley, the 4-star recruit from 2024, who has played really well in scrimmages.
Cam Dewberry here is a transfer from Texas A&M starting at left guard. He's able to climb up on that linebacker and open a massive hole.
13-yard run by Riley. So we've seen Young, we've seen big Daniel Hill carry the ball. Now Kevin Riley with a burst. Riley again trying to get an extra push from that offensive line down to the 20-yard line.
When you can run the football like this, it goes without saying, though. It certainly helps settle in your inexperienced quarterback, no question about it. Right now, they're having success going to the right and the left. If you're Florida State defensively, you sort of understand the game plan. They're going to be running at us early in this game. They have got to get more physical.
Simpson with time to the end zone. Incomplete. He was looking for Jeremy Bernard.
Well, he was looking for a back shoulder throw to Bernard running a corner route. He's very lucky because Earl Little Jr., we talked about him being an impact player right in the middle of the field. He's watching his eyes, and he's shooting over there. And if that was just a hair second later, that might have been picked in the end zone.
Jabril Rolls was able to get that right hand on it as Earl Little Jr. was coming in like a human missile. 3rd down and 6. Play clock counting down on Simpson. And with that, a timeout is going to be used by Kalen DeBoer and the Tide. We're going to take a break. When we return to Tallahassee, 3rd and 6 on this long opening drive for Alabama.
The College Football Playoff begins December 19th and concludes with the National Championship January 19th on ESPN.
You're watching Kickoff Week, presented by Modelo.
3rd down and 6 for Alabama. Opening drive. Play number 13 of this opening drive. They've run the ball 10 times. 3rd and 6. Simpson, they pick up the pressure up the middle. Simpson going to try to run for it and stretches out. It'll depend on the spot, and he's right at that line to gain as Rawls ran him out of bounds.
Well, James Williams lost the contain on the right side of this line for Florida State. You see number 10, he goes inside there, and that allowed Ty Simpson to use his wheels and speed to get to the sideline and move the chains. You've got to have better rush discipline on those critical down and distances if you're Florida State.
So now this drive that's consumed over 7 minutes to open up this game continues on. After the 6-yard run on 3rd and 6 by Simpson. First start of his career. And he gets it complete to Ryan Williams, who that quick acceleration as soon as the dynamic now sophomore turns the corner, gets it down to the 2-yard line.
And I love them putting him in the slot there. Last year, you're used to seeing him on the outside of the field. That time, Ryan Grubb putting him inside on a double move.
1st and goal. Richard Young met in the hole. What a good run fit by the former Alabama defensive back, now playing for the Noles, Earl Little Jr.
He plays, in my opinion, the most important position in Tony White's defense, that rover spot. It's kind of a hybrid linebacker safety, but he has the freedom to just sort of search and destroy, and when he sees the ball, he can go get it. That's a big stop there, but they need a couple more now down inside their 5-yard line.
Tight end shift, Lindsey and Cuevas. Turning the corner into the end zone is Cuevas for the first Alabama touchdown of the season.
It's a nice play design by Ryan Grubb because the play fake is just going to freeze their safety, Ashlyn Barker, and allow Cuevas to get underneath it. This is a play that almost every offense in college football has, but this fake here freezes him, and that allows Cuevas to get underneath. This ends up becoming a run-pass option for Ty Simpson. He could have run that in. They took the easy throw, and what a great first drive for Ty Simpson as Alabama's new starting quarterback.
Connor Talty is the new place kicker for Alabama as he adds the extra point. And you consider the history of Alabama. And when you cap an opening drive like that, well, they've won 58 of the last 59 with an opening drive touchdown. Ty Simpson, first start of his college career, a 16-play touchdown drive.
Run fast while you have the chance. Don't speak.
ABC College Football is presented by Burger King. You rule. And in part by Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
And Florida State is the first undefeated champion from a Power 5 conference to fail to make the field in the college football playoff era.
Yeah, these teams, these programs forever linked with that history in 2023 when Mike Norvell had that championship season. 13-0, ACC champs. Everything they had to go through down the stretch with the quarterback injuries. And then it was Bama who got into the college football playoff. Let's go to the studio to Kevin.
Tess, good afternoon. Here with Booger McFarland, new quarterback at Tennessee. Joey Aguilar, he looks the part here, Boog.
No doubt about it. Calm, cool, collected, finding the receiver in the back of the end zone.
He had 3 touchdowns on the day. Tennessee beat Syracuse 45-26. Number 5, Georgia, 31 straight home wins, and hosting Marshall looking strong.
Gunnar Stockton tackling optional from Marshall.
2 touchdowns on the ground for the Dogs. They're up 14-0. Back to you, Tess.
Thank you very much. What a weekend of college football. It only gets better from here. Tommy Castellanos, the transfer quarterback from BC, now taking over the reins for the Noles. But it is a former Alabama running back who gets the carry in Roydell Williams. So Castellanos played at BC, had success, defeated Florida State here last year on the Labor Day game, and then transferred here this offseason.
A lot to like about his game, too, Joe. He can hurt you throwing it, but he's an explosive runner, and I think a perfect fit for what Gus Malzahn wants to do.
And completes his first pass to the big Deuce Robinson, 6'6", 223 pounds.
Yeah, he didn't make the same splash in the portal that Carson Beck might have made going to Miami or John Mateer going to Oklahoma. But when you look at fit and you look at skill set and what you're trying to accomplish on offense, this worked out pretty good for the Seminoles.
3rd down and 5. Gus Malzahn, former Auburn and UCF head coach, showing that tempo now as the play caller. He's going to take a shot downfield. And that ball is incomplete. It was in the hands of the true freshman Boggs for a moment, but unable to corral it.
And that ball was just dramatically underthrown that time by Castellanos. I mean, Boggs gets way behind the defender. It was Deshaun Jones. Ball thrown behind. He goes up to climb at it. It just gets knocked out.
ACC referee Mike Roach, you just heard him moments ago, as the penalty flag. We're going to try to get some clarity as to what they called there, but it is a first down, and now we hear it is a holding call, defensive holding on Alabama. So what was a downfield strike incompletion becomes a first down due to the penalty.
Very lucky break for Florida State that time. As a quarterback, if you're Castellanos, you're not going to get a lot of wide open touchdown passes against this defense. You've got to play just a little bit faster, and you got to be on time.
Jet motion as Castellanos keeps it, and this is exactly what he can do so well.
He's quicker than he is fast, but his first 10 yards are so explosive. And part of why I love him here at Florida State is Gus Malzahn is going to feature him in the run game. On design runs like that, he's going to have the opportunity to scramble as well. But you can ask any defensive coordinator who faced him during his time at Boston College or UCF, he is hard to bring down.
In a 1,000-yard rushing season with the Eagles. And now they do give it on the jet motion, as it's Lucas, Jalen Lucas, the kind of guy that they just want to get the ball in his hands any way they can, and a flag is down at midfield.
Holding. Offense number 87. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It's Marquiston Douglas, who began his career at Florida State for 4 years before transferring to Arizona State. He's out here trying to block. He's a big guy, Joe. At 6'5", 270 pounds. It's basically like having an extra offensive lineman out there, just getting tangled up a little too much with Quay Russo.
Yeah, the boomerang transfer. He comes here, starts his career, goes out west, and then comes back for what is his redshirt senior season. So with that, it makes for a 1st and 20. Sawchuk on the carry, as he will make his way out to the 47-yard line.
Yeah, really nice patience that time by Sawchuk and keeping his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. He was able to kind of jump cut left, find a little crease to get forward, and Florida State now trying to get some of this yardage back. A big penalty helped them out, keep this drive alive, but as you get into these passing situations now, it's important. Good decision making from Castellanos.
Second and 15. Castellanos gets it out quickly, and he does so as Randy Pittman, who spent the last 2 seasons down in Orlando playing for Gus Malzahn at UCF, makes the reception.
So now we got the big 3rd and long coming here for Florida State. And up front on the offensive line a year ago, they were just bad. They were very experienced, but they were very poor in pass protection, especially on the edge. 4 new transfers come in, starting. This is a big moment for them right here.
And now a timeout is going to be used by Alabama defensively. Their second already exhausted in this first quarter. Florida State facing a 3rd and 11 when we return to Doak Campbell Stadium. There's Gus Malzahn. Part of the big changes here at Florida State. All the transfers, the new cords, and now the veteran play caller, longtime head coach, now the OC here in Tallahassee. A 3rd down and 11 for his Seminoles. There's Tommy Castellanos, the transfer quarterback, key among the changes. As he brings Sawchuk back in for pass protection. 3rd down and 11, 4-man rush from Bama. Castellanos launches it, and a diving effort from Squirrel White.
Squirrel White showing you his speed, and that was just a straight go route on the outside of the field. The Tennessee transfer can take the top off the defense. He's working against the true freshman Dejon Lee, and they get a big one.
Here's Castellanos to the outside, inside the 5, diving into that end zone with a stride. Touchdown, Noles. Tommy Castellanos. Welcome to Tallahassee. Weinberg adds the extra point, and in this day and age of college football, isn't it amazing how quickly things can change?
And give Castellanos tons of credit because he found his best matchup. He had the Squirrel White and the speed to the outside working against a 6'4" talented true freshman that cannot keep up, and right away to get back to the line of scrimmage. And I love the scheme on the zone read touchdown by Gus Malzahn. This is going to handle this defender. He fakes like he's blocking. Pittman comes out and gets the block in the second level on Bray Hubbard, and you just go fast. One explosive play right back to the line of scrimmage, and just like that, Florida State back on the ball, and that was a very, very impressive answer.
3rd down and long. And Castellanos connected with Squirrel White for the 40-yard completion, then the 9-yard touchdown run, and it's 7-7. The grand unveiling of this renovated stadium, and what a way to start things off with that 7-play, 75-yard touchdown drive. Tommy Castellanos makes a difference. Of course, he made a lot of headlines this offseason, didn't he?
Castellanos doesn't seem concerned. Remember this quote? They don't have Nick Saban to save them. I just don't see them stopping me.
All disrespect will be addressed accordingly.
Disrespect will be addressed.
I know we stand on what I said, but there's no disrespect between that side or that team or anything like that.
Well, I asked Tommy what his intentions were when making those comments. He said he wanted to let people know this is who I am as a person. I'm fearless. I'm relentless no matter who we play. He also said he was trying to instill confidence in his teammates. He wanted to let his guys know this is the type of leader I am. So I asked some of those teammates, I said, what did you think of what he said? They said, we want to run through a brick wall for this guy. So they got their swagger back, and it looks like the defense is feeding off of it, Tess.
That's exactly right, Katie, as Justin Pryor just made the tackle on Richard Young.
Well, here's the thing, Katie, too. I mean, when you make comments like that, obviously you're going to fire the opponent up, but there is a return on investment if your teammates buy into it. And Tommy Castellanos had a lot of his teammates text him after he said those things. He said, we got your back. We're ready to roll. We want to bring this thing back and get the swagger back, and it certainly feels like they have that early.
After last year, 2-10, the disastrous Week 0 game over in Ireland that we were there for, maybe they needed that spark and to hear that level of confidence. Ty Simpson, look at the time he has as he gets it downfield to Bernard, and it is a catch.
That was tremendous awareness by the Washington transfer, Bernard, understanding where he was on the field, because that ball came out a little bit late, and I thought Bernard was going to catch it OB, but he was just able to slow himself down at the last possible second, just gear down right there. That looked like that was 2 feet in.
And now tempo by Alabama, Ryan Williams, who can make bad plays look like good plays.
And he has to get his touches, Joe. This guy is so dynamic. And a year ago, he just burst on the scene as a 17-year-old. His game against Georgia was legendary. But in the last 6 games, the production kind of went down. They need to feature him in this offense. Move him around, and you're seeing that already early in this one. But just creatively find ways to get him involved in the game. He's just too good of a talent.
Well, that play against Georgia he had with 2.5 minutes to go, and Milroe with the deep ball, and then Williams just putting on a show with his athleticism. 2nd and 5. Richard Young. He goes ahead for 2.5 yards. Ryan Williams a year ago got off to that great start you mentioned. 8 touchdowns. That led the team. It was 4th in the SEC.
And all of a sudden you get to the last 6 games, and he just wasn't getting enough looks, in my opinion. And you've got to find ways to get him reverses, jets, screens. You got to move him around. He's 18 now, so he's all grown up.
Yeah,
I mean, he's earned this chance, but he just has things you can't coach and you can't teach.
Third down and 2. Sprint left for Simpson, and wide open and complete to Bernard as he then goes upfield, and it is an Alabama first down.
I love the play call because you're moving the pocket and getting Ty Simpson away from the rush, but you're also making the read really easy. This is a simple flat route from the slot receiver in Bernard, and you're reading the corner to the outside. If he backs up and you've got green grass out there, just throw it out in front of Bernard, let him make the easy catch, and we'll move the sticks.
Final seconds here of this first quarter. Simpson gets it complete to Isaiah Horton, a transfer from Miami. Well, it's a fun, high-energized first quarter here in Tallahassee with Simpson at the touchdown pass. Castellanos with the touchdown run. College football on ABC, presented by Burger King, returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Welcome back to Tallahassee. We're on the sidelines with Kalen DeBoer. Coach, your offense has gotten off to a really efficient start. What do you like about what you've seen from Ty and the group?
Yeah, I mean, he's in a good rhythm. Guys are helping him out with the run game. I think we're doing a good job of just taking what they give us, and that's where it starts.
What did you see from your defense on that opening drive?
I mean, they hit the explosive, right? We got him in 3rd and long, and so good learning lesson right there for us. I believe in him, so we just got a lot to play again.
Thanks for the time.
Okay.
Quindarius Jones starting off this second quarter with a heck of a play defensively for Florida State.
That was unbelievable.
Get to Bernard.
Yeah, they had Ryan Williams going in motion, trying to use him as a decoy, but he was not fooled.
Third down and 8. And the flags come in immediately.
Shyheim Brown on the left side of the line for Florida State.
ACC referee Mike Roach heads things up today.
False start. On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Mike Norvell, his 6th season at Florida State, and there is
I think it was the left guard. I think it was Cam Dewberry there, the left guard. He just flinched a little bit, and Shyheim Brown came off that edge. So now a 3rd and long situation for Ty Simpson. You're in field goal range. You just can't be careless with the ball. You cannot take a sack. You cannot force this thing into danger. If it's not there, run and get what you can, or check it down. Points are at a premium here.
Ty has completed his last 6 pass attempts. Here's a 3rd and 13 after the penalty. Pressure, steps up and is sacked. Tony White's defense active up front today as he was brought down immediately, and that was Tay Diggs, the transfer from Coastal Carolina, who gives them an explosive pass rush off the edge.
Yeah, and there's games up front. They're looping guys. Diggs is here. He's the one who's going to get home, and everything just started collapsing quickly. Nice play call by Tony White, the new defensive coordinator for Florida State. As we said, couldn't take a sack. It's now put him in really tough position here for a long field goal, the first attempt ever.
Connor Talty is the new place kicker. He has a big leg. There were some concerns in camp with accuracy. Then he had a big week of practice this week. From 53. And it comes up short. So the defense for Florida State, with that big 3rd down stop, denies Alabama.
You're seeing complimentary football. Phenomenal drive on offense led by Tommy Castellanos to take them down the field. You get the bomb to White, then the QB run scored. Defense comes back out, and they're able to get a stop. So, Joe, all of a sudden you're feeling like the momentum here at Doak Campbell squarely on the side of Florida State.
This great day of college football continues on ABC, because coming up after this, it is number 9 LSU, number 4 Clemson. Chris, Kurt, Holly, and Molly will be on the call there. Castellanos gets it to Sawchuk. Sawchuk able to keep his balance just for a moment.
Well, that was weird. That was miscommunication, because that time the center, Luke Pettibon, snapped the ball to Castellanos well before anybody was ready. I don't know if Pettibon thought somebody jumped offside, because the offensive line didn't move, the running back didn't move, and Castellanos like, dude, where am I supposed to go with this?
There's Pettibon, grew up in Annapolis, went to Wake Forest, got great experience there, and now his first year at Florida State in the middle of that offensive line.
But watch out here.
And they go with the tap pass to Lucas. Lucas gets upended and sent down by Keon Sabb.
Well, you saw a little trickeration that time by Gus Malzahn. That time he had an offensive lineman, Micah Pettis, go in motion. He started up, lined up at left tackle. He moved all the way over to right tackle, and he shifted their tight end, Douglas, then into an eligible spot to catch a pass. It's something you always need to be aware of when you're facing Gus Malzahn, the trickeration.
Empty set on 3rd and 5 for Castellanos. He's already scored with his legs. Can he move the chains here as Roydell Williams, former Tide running back, motions back? Castellanos gets it complete for a first down to Pittman.
Really good job by Richie Leonard at left guard, the Florida transfer, picking up this blitz from Deontay Lawson. He's going to come this way. Leonard starts out, and he comes back and stones it. It's truly good awareness.
Williams can't find anything on the right side.
But it feels like there's a nice rhythm and flow right now for FSU offensively here, mixing in the run. They're sprinkling in a bunch of different personnel packages, a bunch of different shifts and motions, trying to keep Alabama defensively on their heels.
5 runs, 6 passes. Gus Malzahn, the new offensive coordinator. Play action. Castellano survives that and now dives ahead to the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down from there. He was tripped up by Justin Jefferson.
This is a big area here for Alabama's defense, too, because you're kind of on that fringe area just out of field goal range. You don't want to give anything else up here. If you're Gus Malzahn, Mike Norvell, I think you're already talking. This is 4-down territory right now, right here. So don't be surprised if the Noles decide to run the football. And you see Alabama subbing some bigger bodies on the field. They're probably thinking that, too.
Florida State is 2 for 2 on 3rd down in this first half. 3rd and 4. Castellanos looking for something straight ahead. He got small and low and moves the chain.
I just love that design because you got Lucas in motion running the jet sweep, and that stretches Alabama horizontally and opens up some big lanes for Castellanos to run in behind the pulling left guard, Richie Leonard.
There is big Richie Leonard, 6'2", 329 pounds. The transfer from Florida. He was a big-time Bulldog worker at Florida. Led them in snaps 2 years ago. Castellanos, and this time he scoots ahead as he makes his way to the 32-yard line.
Isn't it amazing already, just Castellanos and Gus Malzahn? Yes. How much better already Florida State is at running the football.
It's the fit.
They were only averaging 90 yards a game on the ground. That was 130th in the country. So new scheme, new weapons. You're seeing all of it play out here. It's a completely different attack, and it's working.
Remember, he recruited him to UCF. That's where he started his career. Then Castellanos goes off to BC. Bill O'Brien takes that job, and then he reunites here with Malzahn. Here is Danzy now, and look at Mekhi Danzy. How about it, Noles?
And just a phenomenal job of misdirection, and another wrinkle added by Gus Malzahn in the run game. You're seeing it all sorts of ways. You've got a guy coming in jet motion this way. This lineman's pulling. This running back's going this way. Everybody on defense heading that way. But the ball's going back to the left. And when you talk about Mekhi Danzy, he's not just fast. He's ACC record holder in the 400-meter dash fast, Joe. A 4-time All-American, getting his first touch and making it count.
Oh, there is a certain energy here at Doak Campbell. Tommy Castellanos and Gus Malzahn have created the spark. Danzy was on fire. It is 14-7 Florida State. College football rankings are brought to you by Verbo.
What can you say about Ohio State and Matt Patricia's start as D coordinator for the Buckeyes, just completely shutting down Arch Manning, and Texas? So impressive. That was a statement win right out of the gate.
Arch Manning was 17 of 30, 170 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Of course, Matt Patricia, former NFL head coach, longtime Patriots coordinator, the new defensive coordinator for Ohio State with a big win today. Of course, the story for Florida State the last 2 seasons. Well, Mike Norvell has been on this incredible roller coaster ride. They were champions of the ACC in 2023, snubbed from the playoff. Then the Orange Bowl, where so many of the key players weren't around for that against Georgia. Last summer, the hype-built DJU preseason number 10. We flew over to Ireland with them. We're sitting there. We're thinking they're going to have a sensational season. Things unraveled after that, 2-10. But now, the new coordinators, the new talent on offense and defense. The key word, desperate and hungry. And they're leading Alabama 14-7. That ball is incomplete as Simpson couldn't connect with Cuevas.
Well, and I was asking him about that this week to put context to the word desperate. He says everybody talks about how they want to win, but you've got to be willing to make the sacrifices to get the edge to do that. There are a lot of people at Florida State, including that guy right there, that have something to prove. Castellanos got benched last year at UC. Mike Norvell had to restructure his contract this offseason. Gus Malzahn resigned at UCF. There are a lot of people with lots of talent that want to prove people wrong and prove people they can play to the standard here in Tallahassee. They're off to a good start.
Second and 10. Riley, as he is stacked up and driven back. Katie.
Yeah, Tess, Isaiah Horton, Alabama wide receiver in between series, spent some time in the injury tent. He's been working out on the stationary bike. They've had him do some running behind the bench as well. He pointed to his hip adductor. He said something's not right. It doesn't feel right. So he's on the sidelines right now, guys.
Listen to this crowd on 3rd and 8. Simpson hit as he throws it, and it's incomplete. That was Jaden Jones who was crashing down on Ty Simpson.
And he's working against one of the best left tackles in college football in Caden Proctor, but really good coverage in the back end by Florida State. It forced Ty Simpson to just hold it, and a nice spin move here on the outside by Jones. Able to finally just get a knock on his back. Very lucky that ball wasn't picked.
That's the first 3 and out of this game for either team. Blake Dowd on to punt for the Tide as Lucas is set to return. And it is a knuckler that takes an Alabama bounce down towards the 21-yard line. That Florida State defense with Tony White as Jaden Jones found a home right there on Ty Simpson, where he wants to be all day long.
ABC College Football is presented by Burger King. Try the latest in the Whopper by You series, now featuring our guest-inspired Crispy Onion Whopper and Crispy Onion Whopper Jr., topped with golden onion rings, crispy onions, and sweet and smoky barbecue sauce. You rule.
Right in the middle of this Labor Day Saturday of college football. And of course, things continue tomorrow, Sunday night, right here on ABC. It is Notre Dame and Miami in a top 10 matchup. And then Bill Belichick on Monday night, his debut with North Carolina against TCU. That's on ESPN. Florida State back out there for their 3rd drive. 2 combined drives for the Noles. 15 plays, 140 yards. And a touchdown lead on number 8, Alabama. Castellanos gets it quickly to Deuce Robinson, who kept his balance for a first down.
Well, they've been on fire. They found a really nice rhythm. They've hit some explosive plays as well, but it's been mostly because of what they're doing on the ground. But nice balance, keeping Alabama off guard. That time, Deuce Robinson, the big 6'6" transfer from USC, finally getting his first touch in the game. He's got to be a big weapon for them, too.
Here's Chroma, the freshman, as he is upended near the line of scrimmage.
They're just running it in a lot of different ways, right? You know, with Gus Malzahn, whether he's at Arkansas or he's at Tulsa or Auburn or UCF or Arkansas State, it's going to be quarterback, running back, receivers. Everybody's getting involved. And what I'm really impressed with right now is Tommy Castellanos and just how quickly he's making the right decisions in the run game. All these zone read keys and defenders he's looking at, he's playing very, very fast.
Second and 10. Roma again. This time he hits the hole. And look at the 218-pound true freshman drive ahead and move the chains.
Yeah, he was really patient on that run. He actually saw and felt the linebacker in the second level as Nakai Hill-Green come this way, and then he bounces it back out. Chroma's a guy Alabama wanted, Ohio State wanted, Notre Dame wanted, but Mike Norvell got him, and he's a guy they think is going to be a big part of this offense for years to come.
Usman Chroma from Leesburg, Georgia. Castellanos is going to feed him again, unable to bounce it, but then just falls forward. And with that, took LT Overton for a couple yards before Brown made the tackle.
I got to tell you, Joe, I'm a bit surprised at how Alabama's getting pushed around.
I agree.
And we do have to point out, Katie mentioned early in the broadcast, they're without their best run defender, Tim Keenan, up front. 320-pound nose tackle. He's not in this game because of injury. You've seen Florida State have some success between the tackles.
Well, remember we told you about the staff changes, and we'll get to it after this play, but there was a key one for Florida State that's making an impact already. Castellanos on 2nd and 7. Oh, Tommy with a spin for extra yardage, and it's another first down for the Noles.
You have to keep pass rush lane integrity against Castellanos, or he's going to break out like he did right there. He's only 5'11", but he feels this lane. He just has that innate ability. We talked about him being more explosive than he is fast. The first 10 yards, man, he is shot out of a cannon.
And I want to mention your new offensive line coach is Herb Hand, a veteran who's had many stops with Gus Malzahn. And when they're together, watch out. Roydell Williams, as he goes for 2 yards. So Herb Hand reunited with Gus Malzahn. They were both at UCF from 21 to 24, and they had top 10 rushing offense, top 20 total offense their last 3 years there.
And they bring over guys that sort of understand the scheme with them on the field, right? Adrian Medley, their starting right guard, comes from UCF. Randy Pittman at tight end, big in the blocking schemes, comes over as well. Castellanos has played in this offense at UCF, understands the terminology, and the execution level right now in the run game is really sharp.
2nd and 8, Castellanos. He's directing traffic, and then he is met and forced out of bounds.
Here's another down coming up here, 3rd down, and you're in that manageable area for Castellanos where he's got to be able to use his feet to go and get it.
Pierre makes the stop there, and it creates a 3rd down and 4. You see 81 rushing yards, have a rushing touchdown already. What can he do here on 3rd down? Three-man rush as they spy Castellanos, who drives the ball and gets it complete to now they're saying incomplete. Incomplete pass on 3rd down.
It's a low throw. There's no question about it, and that's not making it easy on Deuce Robinson, but that's a situation, Joe, I think you'd like to see the receiver come back to the ball. He's sitting in his zone. That time Alabama had 8 back. You mentioned they were spying him, worried about Castellanos running it. That just has to be a better ball and a better job by the receiver coming back to it, make sure they're on the same page.
It'll be a 45-yard attempt for Jake Weinberg. He got playing time in 1 game last year and then won the starting job this year. From 45. And the whistles blow.
Before the snap and delay a game foul, Florida State takes its first time out of the half.
So Florida State and take a timeout as the play clock was counting down, and we'll take it with them. Boy, if ever there was a day built for the new direct-to-consumer ESPN app, it is a college football Saturday like this. Jake Weinberg out to attempt the 45-yard field goal. And the second field goal made of his career gives Florida State a 10-point lead over number 8 Alabama.
McNorvell's liking that. 3 drives, 3 scores, and they've been doing a great job running the football. They've had that ability, and they've done it in a variety of ways. Let's take a look at the All-State Good Hands play. And it started off with Castellanos on this QB run. He's looking at the defensive end crash, keeps the football, uses that speed to the outside. He's able to score later. Jalen Lucas, jet sweep motion. You fake the handoff and just follow him to the outside for another big one. And then finally, the eye candy from Gus Malzahn gets the track star and converted running back Micah Danzy. Once again, to the perimeter, 111 rushing yards already for Florida State. Some of that has come on designed runs, some of it has come on scrambles, but a lot of different people touching it. And right now, Alabama's trying to find the answers to slow down this run game.
.192 total yards for Florida State. Great atmosphere here in Tallahassee today. Renovated stadium, new look team, and a scoreboard that's putting a lot of smiles on these faces. Thrilled that you're with us here for this ABC 3:30 game to get the season started. You know, we had an interesting conversation with Mike Norvell the other day of now that he's not dealing with the play calling abilities, how it gives him the chance to act more like a CEO actually down on the field, just like Gus Malzahn handle things.
Yeah, it allows him to connect with players throughout the course of the game, not just on offense, that's what he's used to doing, but on defense and on special teams. And I think also what was interesting, giving his and lending his perspective to the coaching staff as well, situationally in all facets of the game. It's really allowed him to be more of a CEO on the field. It's obviously a new role for him. But so far in this first half, I think it's working out pretty well.
Yeah, the ability in real time to coach the coaches, and a 10-point lead for the new look Noles. Richard Young, as he gave a little something at the end to Edwin Joseph with that shoulder.
Bama's got to be able to get this going. They have to run the ball conventionally with running backs. No more Jalen Milroe. He can't break off an 80-yard touchdown run, even though Simpson gives you a little bit of mobility, but they got to do it the conventional way.
And now you're seeing tempo out of the Bama offense, and Richard Young able to go ahead for a couple of yards. It'll be third down from there. Omar Graham with the tackle.
So this is big here for Florida State's defense. If they can get a stop and get the ball back to Tommy Castellanos with around a little under 3 minutes to go, they've got an opportunity to steal some more points here at the end of the half. So here's a great situation for Florida State defensively to feed off the crowd and try to get off the field.
Listen to this crowd on 3rd and 3. Simpson gets it complete to Williams, and it's a tied first down.
And I love this play call by Ryan Grubb because you're allowing Ryan Williams a little access and freedom to move. He's in the slot really tight, and he's working off Josh Cuevas, number 80 there. He's going to let him clear for him and then just replace him in the open area over the middle of the field.
Simpson, after that completion, now time to pick his option. He goes to Young, who was tripped up. He would have had the first down if he kept his balance.
Well, they're going to go to the 2-minute timeout here as the rain starts to come down in Tuscaloosa. I was just going to say, Joe, I'm impressed with Ty Simpson and the decision-making and the poise right now, throwing the checkdowns, doing what's right with the ball.
Kickoff week presented by Modelo. Florida State up by 10 just before halftime here against Alabama. Ty Simpson's the new starting quarterback for Alabama. He was a big recruit in 2022, but Jesse, he's had to wait his turn.
He sure has, and I give him a lot of credit because in today's age of college football, if you're a quarterback and you're not starting, you're going into the portal. And there are examples of quarterbacks out there now on their 4th school. Ty Simpson believed this was the best opportunity for him to win a national championship and play at the next level, so he stayed to compete.
Driving rainstorm all of a sudden here as Simpson gets it to Jeremy Bernard on 2nd and 4. 1 timeout remains for Alabama. Katie?
Yeah, Tess, well, Ty Simpson, he told me one of the many reasons that he stayed at Alabama was because he watched guys like Mac Jones, Brian Robinson, guys who got better year after year, waited their turn, and then finally made a name for themselves their senior year. He said, I didn't want to take the easy way out. I knew I had room for improvement. I've done that. I fought with Bryce Love. I fought with Jalen Milroe in those competitions. I knew my time was coming, so he kept the faith.
And it is his time. And now in a pressure situation on the road, trailing by 10. Facing a 3rd and 4 in a driving rainstorm. It went from a light sprinkle to an absolute driving rainstorm in a matter of minutes. Simpson's going to try to run it himself. And the pursuit gets to him as he is torn down immediately by Mandrell Desir, the great-looking true freshman.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement up front that Florida State's using on the D-line, and the stunts and twists right now are affecting Alabama's offense to get clean blocks.
Timeout on the field gives us a chance to catch up with Kevin in the studio.
Kaz, State Farm halftime report, minutes away. Booger McFarland, Kevin Nagani here, week 1, and we're going to have a new #1 next week. Texas goes down, and Boog, what's next?
I mean, could it be Penn State?
Yeah, those guys are back in the backfield. Of course, Katron Allen and Nick Singleton both scoring touchdowns. Drew Aller has a touchdown pass. Penn State feeling really good at home.
No doubt the best running back field in America, Kev. They can run the football to help Drew Aller out.
Up 27-3. Highlights coming your way, Tess. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Look forward to getting up to speed on everything going on. This crowd is roaring. They bring the rain, bring the tide. As Alabama forced to punt away. And it is going to be corralled inside the 1-yard line. Now they're saying touchback.
I think at this stage of the game here with 1:36 left, you just kind of wonder how aggressive does Mike Norvell want to be. Obviously, you've got one timeout, but you're waiting back in your own end, and everything's been working. But obviously, with these conditions, ball security becomes a major, major issue. Florida State is going to get the ball back first in the second half, so I would expect this to be a bit more conservative, running the football, taking it into halftime with the lead.
You never know what you're going to get until you play the games. And here we are in what is a rowdy atmosphere in a rain-soaked field in Tallahassee. And Tommy Castellanos and the Noles doing their thing as he slides down under a minute and a half to play in this first half.
It's like a player's helmet for Alabama came off at the end of the play on that one as well. But I think with this defensive staff, when they go in at halftime, there's LT Overton. He's going to have to take the play off. I think Alabama's going to have to look for some adjustments in their front seven to try and slow this running game down.
The team's helmet coming off. It's subject to a 10-second runoff. Florida State has declined that runoff. It'll be second down.
That running game for Florida State that's gone for 116 yards, and Castellanos with 57 rushing yards, averaging over 7 yards a carry, has the touchdown run. He is instantly a difference maker. Lucas on the carry this time. It'll be third down at about 2.5.
You know, and Lucas, for 5'9", 175 pounds, not afraid to run it in between the tackles himself. He's a weapon that I think we need to see more of here in the second half for Gus Malzahn, because he's a Swiss Army knife. You can do so many different things at running back, at receiver. In the jet sweep game you've already seen, throwing him the football. Only played in 2 games last year, Joe, because of an injury. But every time he gets it, people hold their breath. He's got that kind of speed.
Third down and 2. Veteran quarterback Castellanos, as he finds a way to work Lucas into the mix again.
I know they're not throwing the football, but you can't relax here if you're Alabama, because with all the motions and all the jet sweep action, you've got to have great eye discipline here for Alabama at the end of the half to locate the football, because we've already seen if you lose track of it, it gets run right by you or it gets thrown over your head. They really got to dial in with really good eye focus here for Bama defensively.
Again, Lucas. Jalen Lucas and Gus Malzahn. Listen, we know through the years, Gus Malzahn, something about playing that script A.
Yeah. And also, by the way, 2-minute situation, like Gus Malzahn's used to running the ball too. He's one of the few play callers in the game that, in this situation, this is great. I'll go fast. You need first downs in 2-minute type situations. Whether you throw it or run it, it doesn't matter.
Two new coordinators for Florida State. Gus Malzahn, a play caller solely again after his years as a head coach. Tommy Castellanos, the transfer quarterback who was originally recruited to play for Malzahn, as Williams just picks up the ball there.
Joe, that snap from the center that time, Pettibon slipped out of his hand and luckily rolled right into the hands of the shortstop, Roydell Williams.
Listen, we're going to have that kind of an afternoon from this point moving forward.
That could have been a disaster for Florida State, giving Alabama the football back right close to the red zone.
What did we say about Castellanos and his confidence and his leadership as he is pumping up this crowd here at Doak Campbell Stadium? A 17-7 lead after a 2-10 season a year ago. They reset things, and the number 8 team in the country is walking off the field trailing by 10 as Mike Norvell gathers his troops with a spirited conversation.
You know what he's saying right there? One play at a time. The score is 0-0, and we come back out here in the second half. Stay locked in. Don't get too excited. There's lots of football left to go. He understands the standard at Florida State and what these players need to play to.
Katie.
Thanks, Tess. Coach Norvell, great first half. What were you telling your team just then?
Just to continue to respond. And, obviously they went down to the opening drive and was able to put together some plays. Our defense did a great job of coming back, being able to create some stops. I think we're doing a great job keeping them off balance offensively, and we just got to go play the next play. We got 30 more minutes, but I like what I see from our guys.
You've said that Tommy Castellanos is everything you believed him to be. What's impressed you about your offense today?
Well, he's just playing his game, and he's taking what they're giving him. Obviously a very explosive player, but he's just got to keep doing that one play at a time.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Tess?
He had a 9-yard touchdown run. Then Danzy had the 32-yard touchdown run. 17-7 Knowles as we get you to the studio with Kevin and Booger.
Tess, thank you. Last time.
You're watching Kickoff Week, presented by Modelo.
Alabama's first visit ever to Tallahassee. They came in number 8 in the country, but there's something over the rainbow here with this version of the Knowles. 17-7, Florida State on top of number 8 at the half. As we welcome you back to ABC College Football, presented by Burger King and the ACC on ABC. Florida State didn't punt in that first half. They only had 1 penalty against them. They were 4 of 5 on 3rd down. And all the changes from the cores to the star players on offense and defense, especially quarterback Tommy Castellanos, paying off. And they will get the ball, Jesse, to start this second half. And bringing it out on the return is Singleton, as he is upended at a 15-yard line. Coverage where it counts, presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet.
Well, Castellanos is 7 of 8 throwing the football, but I've been really impressed with his decisions and when to run it. Here's a passing down. Bad lane integrity by Alabama. He feels the rush lane open up, and he just takes off and scrambles for a big first down. 3rd and 4, critical play. Zone read with the jet. They're stretching out 2 linebackers and then cutting it up behind a guard to pick up the first. And then down in the red zone, reading the defensive end, Yonze Pierre. He crashes. Deontay Lawson not fast enough to get to the outside. And right now, the way Tommy Castellanos is really dialed in with the decision-making, especially in the run game, that's making life very, very difficult on Alabama.
Roma will open up this second half with a run out to the 22. Katie.
Yeah, Tess, I spoke with Kalen DeBoer when he came out of the locker room, and he said right now our defense is playing hesitant. He said Florida State's done a nice job throwing in some new wrinkles. He told his guys, go attack, do your job, stop being hesitant. The quarterback clearly keeps plays alive, especially on 3rd down. He said we have to be better in those critical portions of the game, Tess.
2nd and 3. Roma with a stiff arm and a first down.
Really nice job that time by the tight end Randy Pittman coming in motion. He's just able to kick out James Smith for a split second, which opens up the lane for Chroma.
5-yard run. First down for the Noles.
You really got to like what you see too, Joe. If you're Mike Norvell and your offensive line coach Herb Hand, watching these guys up front fire off the ball early, trying to set the tone. They want to be the more physical team here in the second half.
You know, it's impressive, all the individual parts in the transfer portal coming together and gelling early on. Castellanos, as he makes his way to the 29-yard line. That offensive line, you know, sometimes we talk about the communication being cohesive, but this unit is gelled early on.
Well, yeah, and they've got a combined 150 starts, but this is the first time they're actually all starting together. You essentially have 5 new people up front, but they are doing a good job communicating with one another. It all starts with the Wake Forest transfer, Luke Pettibon, up at center. He's really got everything in control, as you see Herb Hand right there.
Gus Meltz on the rage about the way that he identifies things up front. Castellanos trying to extend the play, backing up to the 16-yard line, and then throws it away. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Beeman had pressure for the top.
Alabama's got to find a pass rush. That was a big problem for them a year ago, Joe. They only had 25 sacks. Someone has got to be a force off the edge in this type of situation to get pressure on Castellanos. You think back to the great defenses that featured guys like Will Anderson and Dallas Turner and Chris Braswell. They didn't have that last year. They're hoping they can find some of that this season. Got Yanze Pierre out there right now, number 42. He's the guy that they say gives them the most juice.
By the way, Courtney Upshaw's cousin, Yanze Pierre. And the flags rain in.
Ball start. Offense, number 57. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And it's a bit of a catch-22 as well. That's Micah Pettis, the transfer from Ole Miss, with the penalty for Florida State. But if you're pass rushing here on this 3rd and long situation, you can't be reckless, because we just showed you what happens when you get out of your lane. You got to win. You got to have great hands, great leverage, great technique up front to get home. But you can't be reckless. You still have to be able to play under control here.
3rd and 13. Set up the screen to Chroma. He spins his way out past the 30.
Really nice job that time by Zabian Brown at cornerback, the true sophomore. He made sure he had the leverage and stayed outside, forcing the football back into where all the traffic was coming. This is a guy that has a lot of upside, Joe. He started 13 games a year ago as a true freshman, and people tried him, and he gave up some big plays downfield, but he made plays too, none bigger than the pick in the end zone to win the game against Georgia. He's a guy this defense, their coaching staff says, is the most improved this offseason. They're excited to watch him go.
Mark Schimento on to punt away for the Noles. And Bakwe is the explosive return man for Alabama as it harmlessly bounces near the 28-yard line. So Ty Simpson and the Tide taking the field here in the second half, trailing by 10 when we return.
Boys, you guys are crushing it down in Tallahassee, enjoying the game. We got a big one tonight between Clemson and LSU, a couple of veteran quarterbacks.
Just so you can love this matchup, keep an eye on the revolutions on the football. When it comes out of Nussmeier's hand, Lubbock can spin it too.
Yep, coming up right after your game down here in Death Valley.
Well,
I'll tell you, Revolutions is a crafty comedy.
I'll tell you what now, you want to talk about velocity by Nussmeier? Take a look at the revolutions on that ball now.
Here's Ty Simpson. He's going to launch it downfield. And that was overthrown. Earl Little Jr. was the closest man to the ball as Rico Scott was the intended receiver. Of course, LSU Clemson is going to be a thriller. The atmosphere in the other Death Valley is going to be rocking.
And I think it's going to come down to which offensive line does a better job protecting their respective quarterback. LSU's got a lot of new bodies up front in the O-line this season, going up against Peter Woods and TJ Parker, two likely first-round picks from Clemson. And then on the other side, you got Patrick Payton the Florida State transfer, now rushing for LSU on that side. Harold Perkins, Jack Pyburn. Those old lines, I think, will have a big say in who ends up winning that game.
Cannot wait to see that. LSU and Clemson tonight coming your way. Simpson gets it complete to Bernard. Jeremy Bernard, and the Tide cross midfield and move the chain.
Well, that was really nice that time. They had a stack release. Ryan Williams on the outside running the post, and that clears out the corner and allows Bernard underneath to work on the corner route to make the catch. Another nice play design, something that Ty Simpson feels very comfortable with.
All the attention that Ryan Williams draws, and that stack release ends up with a 30-yard reception to Bernard. Simpson is going to go underneath to Cuevas. Remember, he had the 2-yard touchdown that opened up the scoring for Alabama. Katie.
Yes, Alabama starting right tackle Wilkin Formby was visibly sick over here on the sidelines before taking the field. He had a trash can in front of him, and trainers were tending to him, so something to keep an eye on moving forward.
All right, Katie, that's the right side of that O-line we talked about earlier. Gino Vandemark starting at right guard in place of the injured Jaden Roberts, and then you got Formby at right tackle.
First time Alabama's been in Florida State territory since 13 minutes in the second quarter, as just trying to get anything going with Ryan Williams, but Rawls right on top of him.
Yeah, I wonder how much more empty you're going to see from Alabama. I think they're trying to simplify the picture right now for Ty Simpson. That time, just spreading everybody out. It allows you to see the coverages a little bit easier, see the pressures a little bit easier. There's a big third down here in plus territory.
Well, Ryan Grubb, the play caller, spent last year with the Seahawks in the NFL. Of course, was with DeBoer at UW prior. 3rd and 5, and nothing is there for Ty Simpson.
We talked about the movement and the stunts and the twists giving Alabama problems. This time the Nebraska transfer, James Williams, just going to stunt inside. He's able to knife through this offensive line. A guy that played only 16 games at Nebraska, but got lots of pressure with 7 sacks. They think he's their best pass rusher. And on this critical 4th down, they need number 10 to come up big again.
4th and 5. Fourth down for Ty Simpson, and coming up short is Kevin Riley out of the backfield by the length of a football as Justin Cryer makes the play.
Joe, I think a better throw gets this first down for Alabama. If this ball is out in front of Kevin Riley, he's able to catch it and advance it, no question. It's a good read by Simpson. But you see how it was thrown behind him? His forward momentum had to stop to reach back and make the catch. Cryer was there right away to make the tackle. This thing's going to be close.
Well, it depends on where they mark that ball, but you could see by the initial tackle and where our unofficial yellow line is, it's well short, but let's see what the measurement comes up with.
That is a turnover on downs. Tony White's defense is having a day.
That's one Kalen DeBoer knows just got away from him. But it just, the game of football, as you always hear, it's a game of inches. And ball placement in the passing game can be the difference between a first down scoring points or turning it over on downs. But give Florida State's defense credit. Their offense came out, had to punt. Defense takes the field. They get the ball right back to Tommy Castellanos.
Alabama has won 23 straight season openers. 23 straight season openers. They come here on the road as a top 10 team against an unranked Florida State team that the key word we've been hearing all offseason is desperate, retooling, trying to reset and instantly turn things around. And here we are in the third quarter, and it's the Noles defense that's been fiery and their transfer quarterback that's been leading the way. Castellanos finds his man in stride, and it's Jalen Lucas. Look at Lucas go!
Xavier Mincy at safety, and it allowed Lucas to get wide open behind him in the passing attack. Another example of eye candy by Gus Malzahn that Alabama right now is just not able to handle. Eyes not in the right place, and the ball goes over their head.
A 64-yard play, Castellanos to Lucas. Holmes, short side of the field, trying to get the pylon, and he does. Listen to this place roar.
That was a jumbo look by Florida State. They took their left tackle, Gunnar Hansen, and moved him over to right guard. This is him here. That's a tight end on the left side, so they've got all these bodies and big bodies to the right of the formation. They go quick, the quick pitch. Florida State being physical. It seems like Gus Malzahn has just been one step ahead this entire game.
Weinberg adds the extra point. The key play was Castellanos to Lucas. This team is now playing with incredible confidence.
It was the play fake that froze Mincy in the middle of the field. You see Lucas able to get behind Deontay Lawson for a big explosive pass play. Gus Malzahn using his Swiss Army knife. They cap it off with a touchdown run. Florida State 24-7. They are up.
What a difference a year makes. 24-7 Florida State over top 10 Alabama. 24 points, more than Florida State scored against any FBS opponent all of last season. And now today's Aflac trivia question. So 3 top 10 matchups this weekend. Prior to this, when was the last top 10 season opening matchup? This is a spectacular opening weekend of college football, week 1. And this score is shocking everybody. Got a thought here on the Aflac trivia answer?
Can I guess? LSU, Oregon?
It's a good guess, but the Aflac trivia answer are these two teams. Number 1 Alabama against number 3 Florida State back in 2017, and Alabama won that game 24-7.
This just feels big, though, doesn't it? I mean, this whole first week of the college football season, it's must-watch television. And everybody has an excuse to never have to leave their living room today, the entire day.
And, of course, tonight is LSU at Clemson. So now a 17-point hole for Ty Simpson making his first start at quarterback. Daniel Hill is tripped up, but does spin ahead for extra yardage. And TJ Kirkland makes the tackle.
The sense of urgency now has to pick up for Alabama. The tempo does too, as you see them going fast. Your defense seemingly can't stop Florida State. So to get back in this thing, you need to score points on every drive from here on out. That's how it feels for Alabama.
2nd and 7. Simpson drives the ball, and it's incomplete, but a flag is down back at the 26-yard line.
They've been calling Parker Brailsford there for holding at center. He's going to back Alabama up a little bit more. Where's Ryan Williams?
Seriously.
For Alabama's offense. Right now, 4 catches, only 27 yards. They have not been able to get him downfield. If I'm Ryan Grubb, I'm trying to scheme ways to get my best weapon offensively, the football vertically. Here he is lined up right here. Now you see him in motion. They're moving him around again, but we're seeing him a lot more in the slot now than we did a year before.
2nd and 17. Simpson. He gets it complete, and again it's Bernard, and Bernard past midfield. And that is exactly what they needed to try to spark something and dig out of this hole.
And a really nice rhythm on the throw that time by Ty Simpson. So you see Williams in the slot. He's going to clear this out and open up the area on the dig route for Jeremy Bernard. Nice job catching it and advancing and getting some yak after the catch.
Jeremy Bernard, the leading receiver, 117 yards. And Ryan Williams just said just 4 catches for 27 yards. So Bernard's been the go-to for Simpson. Four-man rush as they go with the inside screen. The Woods ball's out. And they're going to say it's incomplete as Williams could not put it away.
They're so lucky that wasn't picked. So lucky. And I like the idea of just getting him a screen, getting the football into his hands over the middle in traffic. As you see Ryan Williams limping off the field after this hit. This is one he's just got to be able to secure and get upfield. Takes his eyes off it for just a moment. Then takes a big shot from Ashlyn Barker, 6'3", 215-pound safety. Patrol in the middle of the field.
And you see Williams limping off the field. He added weight this offseason and tried to deal with what ended up being the back half of last season when he tailed off the wear and tear of the SEC season. And now Florida State trying to punish him here in week number 1. Dre Washington is met right at the line of scrimmage.
So now setting up 3rd and long. If you're Alabama, your offensive line, you got to be talking to each other. We're going to see stunts and twists. We're going to be moving. Parker Brailsford, the center, has got to make sure everybody's communicating. By the way, Ryan Williams still not back on the field for Alabama.
Blake Nicholson just made that great play defensively for Florida State, and it sets up for a 3rd and 11 now for the Tide. 4-man rush. Simpson gets it complete for a first down. Bernard again. He is the one Alabama offensive player who has been reliable today.
And that was a great job by Alabama's O-line. Sliding this way, they're going to get a big stunt to the outside, but a beautiful pocket to throw from if you're Ty Simpson. Really nice job. Brailsford makes the right call, slides them to the left. They were all in sync, and they get a big one.
Dre Washington. Good run fit by Florida State, holding him to just a couple of yards there as Desir was in again on the tackle.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Earl Little Jr. playing that Grover spot is just back there blowing people up. I mean, he's playing that position so well. He's playing it aggressively, but within the rules, he's making some big hits out there on the field.
It's a key part to Tony White's defensive scheme. 2nd and 8. Simpson with time to the end zone. Incomplete. Rico Scott, the redshirt freshman, fastest guy on the team, was the intended target.
Just misses again. And we saw him miss on that last 4th down throw that forced the turnover on downs. That's one. He's got Rico Scott breaking open over the middle of the field in the end zone. The ball's just got to be placed out in front, Joe. And that's a touchdown for Alabama.
That war chant gets louder and louder as every minute passes by and the Florida State lead has grown larger. 3rd down and 8. Simpson, a lot of traffic in that pocket, and Daniel Lyons created havoc.
He looped outside, was working against Formby, the right tackle, and just bull rushed him right back into the lap of Ty Simpson. You see it coming from the right-hand side right there. 4th down, no question. You need to be thinking about 6 in this situation. Again, where is number 2, Ryan Williams? And how can we get him the football?
4th down and 8. Simpson patiently waited his turn for all these years. Now there's urgency. 4th and 8. Downfield, desperate hope. Flag comes down as Ryan Williams was defended by Edwin Joseph.
It was a double move, slant and go, and he had Edwin Joseph. He was going to get in behind him and score. Edwin Joseph did the smart thing, Joe. He basically tried to tackle him because that prevented a touchdown.
And that's a 1st down, Alabama, as Mike Norvell knows that if his defense had come up with that.
But we need more of this if you're Alabama. That's what you got to be thinking about here. It's great to throw screens and underneath double moves and jerk routes and stuff, but let one of the faster players in the country try to get behind this defense. More aggressive play calling and shot plays for Ryan Williams.
The big back is Daniel Hill. He's a pounder at 244 pounds. Flanking Simpson with a fresh set of downs. Simpson goes underneath, and it was off the hands and dangerous again as Edwin Joseph potentially had a shot at it as Ryan Williams was the intended target.
He's got to put two hands up, Joe. Remember, he took that big hit on the screen over the middle of the field. I don't know if that's giving him alligator arms, but it's not enough to just put up one over the middle of the field. I don't know if he's thinking about the hits or the bodies. You got to show toughness, and you got to be willing to make that play.
One of the most dynamic players at the start of last college football season. Today, only 27 yards here in Tallahassee for Ryan Williams. And Jeremy Bernard is lined up in the backfield. Simpson on 2nd and 10. Goes quickly to his tight end to the out, and it's incomplete. He was looking to connect with Cuevas, and Ashlyn Barker broke it up.
There's just a different physicality and effort level from Florida State's defense. Tony White and his coaching staff have got these guys right and ready to roll. Now, this was an area a year ago. If you had Jalen Milroe, you could use his legs. He could take off and scramble. You don't have that same ability with Ty Simpson, so you feel like if he's going to get it done, it's going to have to be with his arm here. They're going empty, trying to make the picture cleaner.
Simpson's 2 of 7 on this drive. Now facing a 3rd and 10. Checking at the line as Cuevas comes back in.
He knows that Florida State has more guys in the box than they can block. Now that they bring in Cuevas, they're good.
Here's 3rd and 10. And the flags come raining in. You know, they reduced capacity here at Doak Campbell Stadium with their luxury renovations by 12,000. But it sounds like they've added an extra 20,000 with the way this place has been going all day long. And with that penalty, it's now a 3rd and 15 for Alabama. Play clock for Simpson. 3rd and 15. Oh, the ball's out! And Parker Brailsford, the center, is able to scoop it and safely put it away and get upfield.
It was Elijah Herring, the transfer from Memphis at linebacker, the first to get to Ty Simpson. Daniel Lyons involved as well. Right up the middle, he's trying to climb up in the pocket. It's initially a good blitz pickup by Daniel Hill, but he can't hold on, and Parker Brailsford was there to scoop that up and get back whatever he could. Very lucky, though. That wasn't a scoop score, Florida State.
Well, Elijah Herring, who played at Tennessee for a couple years, then starred at Memphis, and now forces Connor Taltney to come on for the 40-yard field goal attempt. And he puts it through. And with that, it closes to a 2-touchdown margin. It is so intense here in Tallahassee. The skies have cleared, but the Noles still lead. Hope that was worth the investment, guys. A look at the Taco Bell Live Más student section. Only one student section can claim the title of Live Más student section of the year. Who will take home the trophy this year? Well, this crowd here in Tallahassee, they are revved up. They were revved up at Bullwinkle Saloon last night, Potbellies and the War Horse, and now it's rolling right into today with this lead against number 8 Alabama. What a difference a year makes. The struggles last season, especially offensively, the explosive plays now, Jesse.
That was a big problem a year ago. They just didn't have it, but we've seen a ton of it early in this game. The go route to school right in the first quarter was absolutely massive. On that last drive, you saw Jalen Lucas catching the wheel route of the backfield, getting them down into scoring position. And then the touchdown run earlier by Makai Danzy. 5 explosive plays in this game. They only had 98 all of the season last season, and it just makes things so much easier for you as an offense.
Last year, they averaged just over 15 points a game, Jesse.
It's crazy. Already 24. This is already a banner day, and we've still got about 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Decision by Mike Norvell to bring in Gus Malzahn as his play caller. Sawchuk trying to find something as he makes his way to the third.
It's just so important, Joe, in any level of football to be able to hit home runs. It's hard as an offense if you have to go 10, 12, 14 plays to score points every single drive. It's just too hard to execute at that level, and that was certainly the case for Florida State a year ago. But with a new roster and a new scheme, it just feels a lot more like they're one play away from hitting the big one.
Remember that 17-play scoring drive for Bama to start the game? The field goal you just saw moments ago, their first point since. Castellanos got it out quickly, but it was too far to the outside for Deuce Robinson.
Gus gonna slow it down here on third down. Obviously, we see him go fast, and he mixes his tempos up. Different varieties. Bringing Squirrel White on the field now. Making a substitution with Javen Boggs, true freshman, for an empty look here. These are those situations when Alabama's decided to sit back. Castellanos has been able to take off and run and go get it.
They're down in 5. They bring pressure against Tommy Castellanos. He escapes it for the moment. Can he get the first down? Wow. It was Justin Jefferson that was tracking him the whole time, and a flag comes in late as Tommy Castellanos continues to pump up the Noles.
Well, and that drives you nuts if you're Kane Womack, the D coordinator for Alabama, because on paper you had him. It's going to be a personal foul, late hit on Damani Jackson once he ran out of bounds. But, I mean, on paper, you've got a free rusher. You're expected to make this play right here. This is over. He's dead in the backfield, but he's got the explosiveness. It's like Kyler Murray in the first 10 yards.
Yes.
He just explodes past you, goes and gets the first down, and Damani Jackson's played enough football. The USC transfer knows you can't do that.
You also can't have a game like this if you're Bama with penalties, and that is their 6th penalty for 50 yards. Williams, who played at Alabama, with the carry.
Yeah, you know he's motivated to go, Joe. And Bama fans will remember him. He started the SEC championship.
That's right.
Against Georgia a few years ago when they won. And he's motivated, obviously, not just going against his old team, but he also missed 8 games last season with an injury. He's a real tough runner, runs square to the hole. And he's a nice piece. They've got 4 or 5, I think, really good backs at Florida State, and they're all getting their touches.
And they started that SEC championship game against Georgia. Also the CFP semifinal, that Rose Bowl against Michigan. 2nd and 5 as they go with Lucas again on the jet motion, but he is tackled right at the line of scrimmage.
And honestly, I think that they're in field position again for 4-down territory if you're Mike Norvell. And I would fully expect Gus Malzahn to consider running this football right here, considering how well your guys are playing up front on the O-line. And all this motion and all this confusion that you're creating in your different packages, if I was Gus Malzahn, I'd stay aggressive. Sawchuk, the Oklahoma transfer, in the backfield now.
Third down and 4. Castellanos with time, downfield, nobody home, as Douglas was the nearest receiver, the 270-pound tight end on the crossing route.
They were trying to make Alabama think run with the jet sweep motion. You've got the biggest tight end on your roster out there short of the field, and it was actually him running the route down the middle, and I think he was open for a split second there, Joe. I think Tommy Castellanos just airmailed that one for a little bit, but that is a big-time play for Alabama's defense, down 2 touchdowns.
Schumanto on to punt. Nose down, back rotation, looking for the inside the 10 pin. and it leaks into the end zone. Of course, a Florida State legend was honored today, and oh, what an honor it's been to be his colleague.
And the man of the hour, the great Lee Corso.
And you've got one last headgear to make. This is one of the easiest picks I've ever made. Give me my first love.
It's a beautiful celebration for Lee Corso.
Just synonymous with college football. I remember as a player, Joe, in the late 90s, like you couldn't leave the hotel to go to the stadium until you saw who Lee Corso picked on game day.
Of course, a football and baseball player here with the Noles. And absolutely beloved. They honored him at halftime here as well with the Florida State marching chiefs spelling out Corso as well. Ty Simpson now with the ball back, and he is sacked. He is brought down by Thompson.
The Nebraska transfer has a really good understanding of Tony White's defense. He's going up against who some think is a top 10 pick in Caden Proctor, and he absolutely works him one-on-one.
Simpson struggling again to find anything, pressured again and incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and 17 just like that.
$55 rushing yards on that opening drive, Joe, for Alabama. And that beautiful, what was it, a 16-play scoring drive?
17.
Since then, they have not been able to get anything going on the ground.
Alabama is going to use a timeout. Jesse, you sit back, and we've watched this all day long. Teams gain confidence. It starts to snowball. Tony White's defense watches what Castellanos was doing on offense, and now firing off the ball, disrupting Ty Simpson. What is the answer for the Alabama offense?
I think their best players have to step up and start making plays. You saw an example of it just a few moments ago. You've got your best offensive lineman at left tackle, Proctor, getting beat. You can't give up sacks. Ryan Williams dropping passes over the middle of the field. This is the time, if you're Alabama, where your key players have to play their best football.
Seven tackles for loss, 3 sacks for Florida State's defense. And now a 3rd and 17 where they can get after Ty Simpson. Simpson forced to run it, and then backtracks and settles in at the 20 as James Williams corrals him.
A tremendous effort that time by Florida State's D-line. It was James Williams running over Daniel Lyons, all 302 pounds. He's going to get a helmet sticker for hustle on that play as well. We talked about it, Joe. There's just a different energy and effort level on defense early this season for Florida State.
Dowd punting from inside his own 10-yard line. And it is an umbrella of a punt. Oh, he touched it! It's a muff, and it's Alabama's football! It is Alabama's football. Cam Calhoun is able to get right on it. The defensive back playing special teams, and Bama's got the ball back.
Jalen Lucas just misplayed this or mistimed it running up. He calls for the fair catch, tries to back up, and it hits him in the shin. And the Utah transfer Calhoun's there ready to field it. That's not something you expect from Jalen Lucas, Joe. He was an All-American returning kicks at Indiana. It's a huge mistake.
Sometimes it's more difficult when you get a non-conforming punt. That was one of those umbrella knucklers that you're trying to judge. The next thing you know, it falls short, takes an awkward bounce, and it's a turnover. And is that just what Alabama needs to try to get back in this thing? A second chance for Simpson. With time, he wants a shot downfield to the end zone. Flags come in as Ryan Williams was guarded by Jones.
There's a great example of just getting Williams down the field on a post route. Gets behind the defender, lots of hand fighting with Jones. They're able to make the call. 2 huge plays back-to-back now for Alabama. They score a touchdown here, Joe. We're in a one-possession game.
Muff punt. Penalty. And the ball's now on the 31-yard line. The wide receiver Bernard's in the backfield. And they're going to short pitch it to him. And he is forced out of bounds. Edwin Joseph tracking.
Yeah, I think Ryan Grubb right now, he's just digging into his play sheet right now, just trying to find creative ways to get this run game established again. We showed you earlier, it was so good on that opening drive, but they haven't been able to do it conventionally since then. So you bring in the speedy Bernard, who he coached back at Washington, try and spark some life in the ground game.
Second and 7. Ball was batted right in the face of Ty Simpson. Blake Nicholson has been very active today, and he got in the way of that passing lane.
Yeah, he was coming off the edge free, slowed himself down, and just tried to time his jump when that throw came out. They're trying to go outside to Bernard on a slant. Looks like he may have had him, but now with the tip, we've got another 3rd and long situation. And you mentioned how many sacks earlier, Joe? 3 for Florida
sacks,
State? Yep.
7 tackles for loss. 3 sacks from Tony White's defense.
Bama's O-line has got to be able to give Simpson time.
3rd down and 7. Has time, goes downfield, but throws it too far to the outside of Bernard. And it'll be 4th down.
Kalen DeBoer deciding to be aggressive here in this situation down inside the 30-yard line and try and capitalize. To me, it feels a bit early. I think you get the field goal here, you make it 11. Trust your defense a little bit. This one just feels big.
4th down and 7. Simpson has to spin out of the pocket. Gotta have it on 4th and 7. As Williams was trying to hold on to it, but it's incomplete.
Joe, watching that live, I thought if Ty Simpson just keeps it himself, he's going to go pick it up. That was an unbelievable effort to avoid the sack and get to the outside, but a very inaccurate throw to Ryan Williams. Now, I know Williams thinks he caught this. Let's take a look again. Now, the ball's allowed to hit the ground, but you have to have complete continuous control. No, that's incomplete. Oh, my gosh. That's a throw Ty Simpson is going to want to wish he had back. But, Joe, I don't think he ever needed to throw it in the first place. I think if he just goes and takes off and runs, understanding where he is on the field, they get that. But these are some of the mistakes that you see from quarterbacks making their first start.
Aviator shades don't solve these problems, my man. This offense has got to get going. Keep it on the ground and tackled for a loss as LT Overton comes charging in against Ooze Chroma, the true freshman.
Wow, that was an unbelievable effort working against Micah Pettis. And Overton is a load at 280 pounds. He's able to use all of that to get inside here. He's a guy that people thought could have been drafted had he gone out this past season to be a top 50 pick. That's the guy they need to dominate. And how about this? That's their first tackle for loss today.
with 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter. This loaded Bama defense's first TFL. Sawchuk on the carry, and now this defense seemingly looking to make a statement as Nikhai Hill-Green, who was all Big 12 at Colorado last season, comes and run fits that and drives them back. So now these final seconds of the third quarter ticking down, and this Alabama defense desperate to get the ball back for their offense. What do we have brewing here? We're headed to the fourth quarter with unranked Florida State, who had 2 wins a year ago, with a 2-touchdown lead against Bama. College football on ABC, presented by Burger King, returns after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
We're back in Tallahassee with Mike Norvell. Mike, your defense came up big after the muff punt. What'd you just tell your team to close this out?
We got 15 minutes, and you know how we're trained for this. This is why we work the way that we work in the off season, to be able to go out there and finish a game. And you know, obviously we just got to keep doing what we're doing, control what we control, and a lot of confidence about how our guys are going to finish this game.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
A chance to do what Mike Norvell's team couldn't do a year ago. Have a signature, impressive win. We start this fourth quarter with a 3rd and 9 that gets blown up by Keon Sabb, and the Tide defense is going to create a big opportunity right here.
And a really nice job of cat and mouse. Kane Womack, the D coordinator for Alabama, coached his guys up. That play started in an empty set. Bama was back in zone coverage. As soon as they brought Gavin Sawchuk into the backfield in motion, everybody came up to the line of scrimmage. It was full-out blitz, and the Michigan transfer able to get a big stop.
And now Mark Schumento, after the first Florida State 3-and-out today, on to punt. Can he flip the field? And Bakwe's the return man, calling for the fair catch and securing it near the 36-yard line. Well, I tell you, the new ESPN app has been awesome. This direct-to-consumer product, it is the best way to catch everything. All of ESPN now is in one place. All the games, all the stats. You can track your fantasy teams. You can personalize it, your favorite leagues, teams, players. And this time of the year, it is invaluable. The new best experience with the ESPN app. All right, let's set the table this way. Alabama has won 23 straight season openers. Florida State has lost 6 of its last 8. But here are the Tide, number 8 in the country, trailing by 2 touchdowns with the ball in the fourth quarter. Ty Simpson, his first college start. As he just has to check down to Ryan Williams, who struggles to try to get an extra yard. Jerry Wilson with the tackle.
Yeah, and if you look at Ty Simpson's numbers, it's not too bad. He's made some good decisions with the football. He's taken what's there. What you're not seeing is the big misses. 2 huge misses on 4th down. He missed a touchdown pass earlier in the game as well. He hasn't been able to take advantage of all his opportunities. He can't miss now.
2nd and 7. Ball is out quickly to Cuevas. Cuevas squares up those shoulders and now is striding. And it's a big play by Josh Cuevas.
And a really nice job, obviously, by Cuevas individually, but also downfield, getting blocks. Rico Scott, you had Jeremy Bernard, as Cuevas comes off a bit gingerly, but there's a big explosive play in the pass game that didn't have to get thrown too far downfield. Look at the receivers here. Rico Scott, number 11, that's a great job. And then Jeremy Bernard as well. It's not just the O-lineman, but these receivers coach to go downfield and play with some effort too.
Yeah, Bernard, who has 134 receiving yards, digging in and blocking to get that 27-yard reception for Cuevas. First down, Simpson. He looks right, then he has to check down to Daniel Hill. And Hill at 244 pounds lowers the shoulders.
And that's a nice decision by Simpson there, because he's pumping the running back out in the swing, hoping to take a shot deep down the field. Florida State, they've got it covered, so you don't panic, you don't freak out. You check it back down to Daniel Hill in the flat and just take a couple of yards and take the profit. It's a good decision by Simpson.
Sat behind Bryce Young and Jalen Milroe, and now it's his team. But what can he do in a spot like this? 2nd and 7. Riley, leg drive. It's going to be 3rd and short. Justin Pryor with the tackle. Third and 1. Riley's got it. It's a first down, Bama, inside the 20-yard line.
Wow, there's a redshirt freshman who's not the biggest back in their stable, 5'11", 191 pounds. That was tough running right up the middle. And a big down, he knew he had to have it. Made himself small, got into the second level. And Alabama's offense finding some rhythm.
Edwin Joseph is down, and the medical team is there immediately. He has played a big role here today. So while they tend to Edwin Joseph, we will take a short break. Bama's driving, trailing by 2 touchdowns. There is Cade Klubnik, the star quarterback for Clemson, getting ready for LSU. 36 touchdown passes a year ago. The showdown against Garrett Nussmeier is coming up right here on ABC. Chris and Kirk will be on the call. That is going to be so special in the extended coverage of the arrival of the Tigers in Howard's Rock. Simpson on first down as he gets it complete to Bernard again.
Nice little play action in a bootleg, getting him outside, buying some time, and that was a nice job by Simpson, letting the pass lane open up. Bernard wasn't open early in the route. He opened up very late. Simpson was ready for him. You see right here, it's not open now. It's not open now. It's the third window. Great job understanding where he is on the field, and a nice accurate throw.
It is first and goal, Alabama. 146 receiving yards for Bernard. He pulls it. He gets it to Scott. Scott on his feet. Scott trying to get to the pylon, and he does. Rico Scott. Karate kids it. Celebrate for now. Work still to be done, but Alabama has pulled back into this thing. We're going to see the replay and check things out with that pylon.
It was a zone read with an attachment. There was a great job of Ryan Williams downfield blocking Rico. Is that toe hit out of bounds before the ball crosses the plane? That's what they're going to be taking a look for.
Ruling on the field is right there. It's a touchdown. This was ruled a touchdown moments ago by Rico Scott.
So it's where's the football in relationship to the plane and the goal line when that right foot steps out of bounds.
By the way, at the end of that play, Earl Little Jr. was down and slow to get up and now is walking off the field.
That's not a guy that they can afford to lose. We talked about the position he's playing, the leadership he's had in the back end of this defense. He's made a lot of big plays today.
Ty Simpson and Rico Scott just came up with a big play. Simpson's second touchdown pass of the afternoon.
It doesn't seem like they're reviewing this either, Joe. I think we're in a pause here, just letting Earl Little Jr. off the field.
And there is Earl at 11 games over the course of 2 seasons for his now rivals, the guys on the other side of the field. He's an exceptional athlete, fast and explosive. But moments ago, Rico Scott was faster to get that ball inside the pylon. And Connor Talty makes it a 7-point game. And little by little, number 8 Alabama's clawed back into this thing.
Really good job by Simpson in the decision making here. This means he has to keep it. This means he has to throw it. And Ryan Williams getting a big block down the field, buying some time for Rico Scott. And all of a sudden, Alabama within 7. We have got a game here late at Doak Campbell Stadium.
ABC College Football is presented by Burger King. You rule.
24-7 not long ago. Knowles now 24-17. A look from the AT&T Connected Cam. The place to be. The newly renovated Doak Campbell Stadium. They got a new west side. They got the expanded seating options. They got the founder suite. It is spectacular, and what a game they have had for it. Let's go to the studio to Kevin.
Test week 1 of the college football season is here, and our multi-view is showcasing a handful of games as well as the third round of the U.S. Open across all of our networks. You can experience it all on the new ESPN app. Let's get back to a really good game in Tallahassee. Florida State with a 7-point lead. Tess, back to you.
Tommy Castellanos, he opened up the day red hot. Can he put this game away for the Noles? Here's the true freshman running back, Chroma.
It just feels to me, Joe, like there's a little bit of pressure on Florida State right now to have to answer this drive.
Yes.
Right? A couple things haven't gone their way here in the second half, and you're sort of allowing Alabama back into this game. You need to be able to answer here on this drive. There's lots of pressure on Malzahn.
The new play caller after his years as a head coach. Back to what he's always done best. Castellanos on the design quarterback run, and it's going to be third and a long one, maybe two, as Deontay Lawson and Hill Green make the tackle.
Well, for a guy that's only 5'11", 200 pounds, they're not afraid to run the quarterback in between the tackles. He is a strong, tough runner, and in situations like this, third and short, you can't be afraid of that again.
Third down and 2. Can Bama come up with a stop? Castellanos reaches ahead. It depends on the mark. And we will see where that knee went down, and they're ruling him short as Deontay Lawson cut him down. Lawson, who's back from that torn ACL a year ago.
That was a really nice tackle that time by Lawson. Remember, he got ran around earlier in the game by Castellanos in his speed, but they're showing tremendous instincts, almost anticipating that Castellanos is going to keep that. He just got him with one arm, but he got him down short.
This is fourth down. This is fourth down from their own 34-yard line. Watch that play clock. They're going for it. And they get it. Roydell Williams, the former Alabama running back, from their own 34-yard line, they convert.
And he ran over Deontay Lawson. 5'10", 225, low man wins. Watch this hit right here. Boom. And he just drives him backwards. We talked earlier about him being hungry in this game. Well, he showed it there.
A fourth down conversion. Yesterday, we sat across from Mike Norvell, and we asked him, knowing what you're up against, knowing the spot you're in, how aggressive? He gave us that look. He gave us that response, and you just saw how aggressive.
Yeah, we're going to have to make plays to win this game. We know what we're up against. We know who they are. And you saw a very, very risky decision here in the fourth quarter, and it pays off.
You want to have special moments. You want to pull off the big ones. You got to roll the dice. Castellanos, as he is torn down by Damani Jackson. And a flag comes in.
It's probably going to be, I think, on 23, James Smith, I think, for landing on the quarterback late. We've seen a couple bad penalties by Bama's defense this way. Damani Jackson had one earlier in the game when he knocked him out of bounds. And right here, you see 23? There's a little elbow to the face, too, going to the ground.
Big defensive tackle goes 300 pounds.
God, it's so costly for Alabama. You have them in third and long with an opportunity to get the football back. Now you've given them a fresh set of downs in your own territory.
And moments ago, you had them in fourth down inside their own 35. Now they've crossed midfield. Bama now 7 penalties for 65 yards. Sawchuk trying to grind things out here under 8.5 minutes to play, looking for a major upset in week 1. LT Overton with the tackle.
And if I was Mike Norvell, I know he's not calling plays anymore, but I'd be in Gus Malzahn's ear saying, hey man, you can just run the ball now. You don't have to throw it. You don't have to stop the clock. We've been having success on the ground. We've got an ultra-mobile quarterback. Let's take advantage of the extra blocker. Let's try to ice this game and bleed this clock down.
Officials are going to take a timeout here as
think they're thinking maybe he was feigning an injury or something. A player was trying to go down after the ball was spotted, which is a new rule.
It's a new rule in college football. We'll see if they clean it up here. We're going to take a short break. A timeout on the field. There is Dabo Swinney getting ready for Clemson and LSU. He's got such an experienced team returning with Clemson. 8 starters on both sides of the ball. That's coming up right here. Number 9 LSU, number 4 Clemson, coming up right here on ABC. Kickoff week presented by Modelo. Will a top 10 team go tumbling? Second down and 9. Florida State end around Danzy. Another big play by Mekhi Danzy.
It's the exact same play he scored a touchdown on earlier in the game. You've got all this motion going to the right of the formation. Alabama's fast flow, and then you give the track star, the 400-meter record holder in the ACC, some room.
Castellanos, he's going to run it straight up the middle as he gets inside the 15-yard line. Under 8 minutes to play. A touchdown lead for unranked, resetting Florida State.
Hey, man, and whatever it takes, too, if you're Castellanos. Jamarian Latham looks like he's slow getting up for Alabama, but that's the 15th carry for the 5'11", 200-pound quarterback. Joe, I watched film of him 2 years ago at Boston College, carried 31 times against Army in a game. He can do it. It's Castellanos. He's not the biggest quarterback in the country, but he is tough.
That was the year that when he was playing for BC, he passed for 2,000 yards. He rushed for 1,000. Only 5 quarterbacks in the ACC have done that since 1996. It's guys like Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Malik Cunningham, and he has been putting on a show here today. That is not a good sign to see. Jamarian Latham, who's been in his 5th year in the program, plays a big role in that front 7, being helped off the field.
And remember, they're already down Tim Keenan, their nose guard, missing this game. So you got some big bodies and regular starters out for Alabama now.
Seven and a half minutes to play.
And I think if you're FSU here, Joe, you want to start slowing it down.
Yes.
Go tempo, tempo, tempo. Now's the time to bleed the play clock whenever you can.
Will Gus Malzahn do just that? Sawchuk straight ahead inside the 10, keeping his balance, getting help from his friends, finding his way to the goal line and in.
What a strong run by the Oklahoma transfer, right through a tackle attempt by Bray Hubbard, Joe. I think I counted 5 or 6 Alabama defenders that he carried with him into a convoy into the end zone.
That was a how bad do you want it kind of touchdown run. Gavin Sawchuk. You're taking a peek to see if the ruling on the field will stay that way.
You talk about the word Mike Norvell was using all offseason, desperate.
Yes.
And wanting to make the sacrifices to get opportunities. How bad do you want it? Plays like this. And this is the perfect microcosm, an example of what he's talking about. Forward progress not yet stopped. Knee goes down right there.
Yeah, but you got a whole lot of humanity covering it up, but you can see where that ball is at that point.
And the call on the field was touchdown.
I love seeing those big offensive linemen just finding work for that extra push. It is a touchdown.
New terminology this year, upheld versus confirmed,
yes.
Or stands.
Stands versus, yeah. Tommy Castellanos leading this team. The quarterback who in the offseason, in an interview in June, said they don't have Nick Saban to save them. That really got the attention of everybody, but it also got the attention of his teammates, Jesse.
No doubt about it. They had his back, and also Tommy Castellanos has backed up his words with his play here today so far.
Weinberg adds the extra point. That's a big smile for Tommy. It's a 2-touchdown lead for the Noles.
So Sawchuk is a 210-pound running back going right up the middle. Hubbard misses the tackle right there. He keeps his balance, and then he's just plowing through defenders. Linemen are getting involved. The O-line comes down. Great effort by everyone. You just can't say it enough. There's just a different energy and effort level by Florida State early this season, and you're seeing it in all three phases of the game. Just look at the emotion. And Gunnar Hansen right there, he wasn't around for this a season ago. A lot of these transfers, they didn't go through what Florida State did, but they wanted to come here and be a part of something special. And they really believe that they have the recipe to do just that.
So Gunnar Hansen wasn't here a year ago, but you know where he was? He was a starter at Vanderbilt. And he earned the Outland Trophy National Player of the Week and the SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week when Vanderbilt upset then #1 Alabama a year ago. And here he is now in garnet and gold and helping his team to a 2-touchdown lead over #8 Alabama. And just remember what the roller coaster ride of the last 2 years have been for Florida State. When Mike Norvell's team went 13-0 on an ACC championship, only to be snubbed and find out Alabama's going to the playoff. A lot of opt-outs to get that 63-3 shellacking by Georgia in the Orange Bowl. Then DJU came to town. They were top 10 preseason when they went over to Ireland. They lost to Georgia Tech. Things unraveled. They went 2-10. They couldn't find offense. They only averaged 15 points a game a season. They got 31 against this loaded Bama defense right now. Daniel Hill with the reception for 9 yards.
This is going to be tough sledding now for Alabama because Florida State is not in prevent mode, but they're going to play big zone coverages and just try and keep the football in front of them, rushing only 4 guys.
Ty Simpson, as he tried to go back shoulder to Cuevas, it's incomplete.
Those are just the types of catches Alabama's going to have to make. They're going to be difficult. Kalen DeBoer knows it. Even when it's not perfect, you got to be able to come up with the play.
And that was messy. They tried to set it up with Ryan Williams and Bernard. They were right on top of each other, and it's 4th down because of that.
Well, Jeremy Bernard did a nice job blocking earlier. He didn't do a very good job that time by Ashlyn Barker. He got run right through. Alabama threw an interception for a touchdown on a similar play last year against Oklahoma. They're lucky that one wasn't taken to the house, too. This is it.
4th down and 1. From their own 34-yard line. They're 1 of 3 on 4th down today. Desperation time for the Tide. Play clock's counting down. Flags are coming in. Movement. They're going to be backed up.
Caden Proctor at left tackle. Wasn't expecting Ty Simpson to start audibling. There's a little bit of a flinch on that left side. And we talked about your best players have got to play their best in these moments. That is an untimely penalty for Alabama.
It is so loud here. The way Doak Campbell has often sounded through the years. 4th down and 6. Simpson, 4th down. Gets it complete. 1st down, Rico Scott.
Really nice job by the O-line of Alabama. Caden Proctor was on an island one-on-one. Javen Jenkins tried a spin move, did not work. He stoned him, and that gave Simpson the time.
Under 6.5 minutes to play. Simpson. Pocket collapsing. Simpson retreating. Still on his feet. Incomplete at the toes of Derek Meadows, the true freshman receiver.
It's the second time in the game we've seen him make such an incredibly athletic play, an unbelievable effort to avoid the sacks, get outside, but he just doesn't have the accuracy on the run. He had a big miss to Ryan Williams in the third quarter on fourth down, and that time there, Cuevas did a great job in the scramble drill, working back to his quarterback. Ball just getting away from him.
James Williams and Mandrell Desir were chasing him down. 2nd and 10. Simpson lofts it downfield, and Ryan Williams can't hold on to it, and a flag comes in at the end of the play.
Wow. That's the third time Williams has dropped the ball over the middle of the field. We got to wait and see what this penalty is, but Ryan Williams, he just doesn't look right, and he's very slow getting off the ground here, but he's not playing with the confidence you're used to seeing him play with.
Right now, the concern.
That's targeting.
Is Ryan Williams and his condition as the medical staff is out to check on him as he took that hit at the end of this play.
Well, targeting defined by forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless opponent or using the crown of your helmet versus a defenseless player. That's certainly what Ryan Williams is in this situation.
You see Earl Little taking those extra steps and delivering that blow there. Here it is in real time.
The ruling on the field is targeting. So they need disputable video evidence to overturn this.
Let's go to our longtime rules expert, Matt Austin. Matt, give us your take here.
Yeah, Joe, actually, anytime you get a targeting penalty, the replay official has a clean slate, so he doesn't need to confirm or let the call stand. He's looking at this fresh and making the call himself. This is definitely a defenseless player. The defender definitely comes in and attacks. He does make contact to the head. The only question here is it's a little bit of a glancing blow, but if I'm in the replay seat, I'm going to call this targeting.
Oh. So that is what Matt Austin offers with his opinion.
They wiped it off, no targeting. And that's big for Florida State, obviously, not just to have the penalty, but to have a key player like Earl Little Jr. stay in the game, up 2 touchdowns. He's a guy they need on the field. He has been a presence and a force. You just hope everything's okay with Ryan Williams being escorted off the field.
They're having audio issues with referee Mike Roach's communication system, and thus that's why you're not hearing the call. 6:07 to play. A tidal wave of sound right now. On 3rd and 10, Simpson kept his footing, launches it downfield, and it's incomplete. It's going to be 4th down. Jalen Hale was the intended receiver for a desperate Ty Simpson.
All right, now, if you're Florida State, you need your best pass rusher to have success. Last time it was the Nebraska transfer, James Williams getting in, number 10. Stunts and loops and twists have given Alabama issues all game long, and you know you're expecting that here if you're Alabama.
4th down and 10. Kalen DeBoer, all the hope entering this season. The loaded roster. His offensive coordinator back in the fold. And it comes down to these precious moments. 4th down and 10 for Bama. Simpson. Got to come up with it. Simpson, can he get there? Driving to that line again. It'll depend on the spot. It looks like he may be a football shy as Rawls met him.
I don't know how Williams didn't get him down. I don't know how Diggs didn't get him down. Another unbelievable effort by Ty Simpson, but you're right, Joe, watching it live, it just looked like he was a hair short. And Florida State defenders just flying everywhere.
Rawls just bringing his old body into the frame to wall up Ty Simpson at the last possible moment. How many links are left on that chain? Let's find out together. It is a turnover on downs.
Cannot say enough about this defense for Florida State, and it's a new look. They've got a facelift. They're running a new 3-3-5 scheme by Tony White, and there's a lot of new faces in from the portal. But man, just the way they're flying around, the attitude they're playing with, it's an attitude.
Yes.
In the late 90s when I was on the Gators and this team was going to 3 straight national championships, their defense coached by Mickey Andrews had an attitude and a standard. And they played up to it every single week. They had dudes that got after you. And what we've seen in this game so far, Tony White has his guys playing like that.
New defensive coordinator for Florida State. We have been told that the spot is under review. We will watch it again. Remember, this camera angle is not directly down the line, nor is that yellow line official. Here's the reverse angle. You can see the marker on the far sideline as Rawls comes up to meet Simpson.
Knee down there. The question is, where's the ball in relationship to that first down marker? Ruling on the field was that he was short.
Let's get a third voice in the conversation with our rules expert, Matt Austin. What is your IC, Matt?
Yeah, Joe, I think this is short, but without a shot right down the line, you just really can't tell.
And that is the case.
You see Mike Norvell telling his guys on offense, one play at a time, not the play caller now. And there's an example of an opportunity to go connect with all 11 guys in that huddle and say, guys, we're up 2 touchdowns. We can ice this thing now, one play at a time.
And Bama only has 1 timeout left. Gonna be a whole lot of Noles fans getting on that Gus bus if they put this thing away. Gus Malzahn, new play caller. Sawchuk, the guy who muscled his way to the touchdown a few minutes ago, met by Deontay Lawson.
I think there's a lot of things that Mike Norvell and Gus Malzahn are reminding their players in this situation too. Ball security also. Don't try to do anything stretching the football out to try to get extra yards. We're not turning it over. 2 hands on the ball, 5 points of pressure. Everything they love about it.
What a great point of analysis you just made, because it was a conversation we had earlier today about now that Norvell isn't the play caller, that you got a veteran, another head coach who's one of the all-time great innovative play callers, and Gus Malzahn. You handle that, it gives Norvell the opportunity to game manage, to have conversations with everybody. You saw him gather his players moments ago. Can this tandem of Norvell and Gus Malzahn pull off and get this signature victory? Early Castellanos diving ahead for a first down.
There's just no limit to what Castellanos can do for you in the run game. He's not just an outside speed guy, but they're pulling linemen, that time Gunnar Hansen, and letting him run between the tackles. And he's getting it done. He's so explosive. And at 5'11", Joe, he's hard to find behind all those tall offensive linemen. I mean, this is a major difference, something they definitely didn't have a year ago. We saw Jordan Travis break off some nice runs, but this is a bit of a different element in this offense now because of Castellanos' running ability.
Milking every second of that play clock as they keep it on the ground with Holmes. We're under 4 minutes to play. Alabama has won 23 straight season openers. They had loads of confidence coming into this season with a roster that was built the way they wanted it to be. Kalen DeBoer was so high on the fall camp they had, even turning to Ty Simpson as the quarterback. 4 years at Alabama, a coach's son, a leader. And yet, look at these fans and those faces and the concern against a fiery, inspired, confident Florida State team.
I think the biggest cause for alarm, and there's a lot of things they're going to need to correct, but they got beat up in the trenches.
They did.
Alabama. They're giving up 226 rushing yards in this game, and maybe some of that changes once you get Tim Keenan back at nose guard, but they've got to look at themselves in the mirror. Offensively, couldn't get it done running the football. I mean, they were completely shut out in both aspects. And I don't care what offense you run or who you have playing quarterback or who your receivers are, but games in college football are still won and lost in the trenches. And that, to me, is the biggest alarm right now for Alabama.
3rd down and 9. Here's Lucas. Jalen Lucas. And he turns upfield, and Jalen Lucas.
That's a coachable moment for Florida State because you got to stay in bounds.
You do have to stay in bounds.
Absolutely.
He turned upfield. He could have put the shoulders down.
Totally. And just knowing where the 1st down marker is, but also knowing that the clock stops now. Every precious second counts.
1 timeout is exhausted. None remain for Alabama. They have used all their timeouts.
So if you're Florida State right here, it's a 2-possession game. You kick a field goal, you make it a 3-possession game, or you just ice it right now with the 1st down. I think the way they've been running the football, I would do that. I keep my offense out there.
Ty Simpson. He came in to Tallahassee with high hopes, with a wide receiver room that was elite, talent surrounding him. But this Florida State team started to believe with their ultra confident, outspoken quarterback who went out there and started to prove it, and they started to roll. Fourth down and 1. Short pitch, Lucas to the outside, and he will have the 1st down.
I'll never forget when I saw that Tommy Castellano said, "I just don't see them being able to stop me." I thought, oh boy, it's going to get a lot of people's attention. But you know what? He was right.
2-minute timeout. Florida State is closing in on a massive upset when we return.
Welcome back to Tallahassee, where earlier this week, Tommy Castellano said, "I've been considered undersized my whole life. I've been overlooked, under-recruited, told I couldn't play the quarterback position. I faced challenges as a kid, so I've always had a chip on my shoulder. I'm fearless, and I play with heart, and sometimes, guys, that's enough."
And victory formation feels awful good, doesn't it, Katie?
Just imagine.
A young man who came here, Jesse, and said, "I just don't see them stopping it."
The guy that used to terrorize Florida State for 2 years when he was the quarterback at Boston College, now wearing their colors, and he has been a big-time difference maker. What a performance by him today, by their defense. Great job by the coaching staff, and that's why they're eating the W.
Where does this leave DeBoer and Alabama?
Well, they've got a lot of soul searching to do, and they've got to go back to the board. And it's a long season. One loss early on the road to Florida State isn't going to knock you out of the college football playoff, but your margin for error now is so much smaller, and they've got to get things fixed, quickly.
The game is different. The sport is different. You can go out there and you can turn things around. And a tradition-rich power program like Florida State decided to. The man on the right is Gus Malzahn, the longtime head coach, but always an innovator, an outstanding play caller. Mike Norvell said, I'm getting on that Gus bus. And now Norvell is watching that clock count down with Tommy Castellanos and Gus Malzahn and this rebooted, refreshed, re-energized Florida State team knocking off number 8 Alabama. The first big field stormer of the year is underway. How good is it to have ball back, folks? Let's go to the field to Katie George. Katie.
Coach Norvell, after everything your team has been through over the last 2 years, how rewarding is this?
I mean, it's incredible. All glory to God. I mean, I've been so blessed with the opportunity to coach these great players, to be at this wonderful institution. It's truly special. And for newly renovated Doak Campbell Stadium, all the investment, all the support, all the great former players that were here with us tonight. I mean, this is for them. Just so grateful that the good Lord was with us tonight, and I'm proud of how our guys prepared, and they showed who they were tonight.
Tony White's defense was fantastic, but Tommy Castellanos is a difference maker. In what ways?
Well, I mean, it was a complete team victory, and that's what I love. Offense, defense, they showed up big. Even our young kicker, Jake made a big kick early. I mean, that's what this game is all about, and that's how we train, that's how we work, and they were there for each other. They did a great job together.
Congratulations, Coach Norvell.
Thank you so much. Go Noles.
I've got Tommy here.
Katie's trying to work her way to that embrace and that celebration with Tommy Castellanos and Norvell. Katie.
Congratulations. You said you wanted to come to Florida State to make a difference, to turn this program around. How does this feel?
It's a blessing. I'm just thankful to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. I can just say thank God, thank Coach Norvell for giving me the opportunity to let me be here and choosing me. They could choose a lot of guys out of the portal. They chose me. They believed in me. And I'm just thankful to be here.
Congratulations. Enjoy this.
Thank you.
Do you understand what the streets of Tallahassee are going to be like tonight? This is what college football is. And how good was that? 31-17. The 23 straight season opening win streak for Alabama is over. LSU and Clemson is coming your way. For Katie George and Jesse Palmer, I'm Joe Tessitore saying thanks for being with us. Enjoy the rest of your night. Ball's not done. We got a great one still to come. Florida State